The days of playing your victim card are over. Look, the Democrats have attempted for years to divide us into classes of victimhood. You're black, you're gay, you're an immigrant, you're trans. No matter what it is, they apply labels to you, and based on where you fall on the victim totem pole, you get certain rights and privileges you get to lord over the rest of us. Well, a Democrat congresswoman learned the hard way that the days of playing those games are behind us.
In fact, we've already seen that prices are rising on many everyday goods.
Congresswoman,
please don't interrupt me.
We had
the time is mine. The time is mine. Please don't interrupt me. I will ask you questions and I will grant you an opportunity to answer them, but please don't interrupt me during my time.
With pleasure.
Okay, I know I'm a woman, but please try to limit yourself to answering my questions. No, I'm sorry, but we get talked over all the time, and I don't want that to happen at this hearing.
Democrats, I'd like to report a hate crime. If I'm not mistaken, June is Pride Month, and Scott Bessent is an openly gay man. I mean, was she just discriminating against him based on your own logic? Leftists, did she commit a hate crime against an openly gay man? I mean, he was trying to answer her question by correcting her on the record in which she was wrong. That was Congresswoman Linda Sanchez. And by the way, the best part was Fox Business's coverage, because they did a split-second shot where they showed the cameraman as she was saying this, and his face was just like, what in the world are you doing here? Look, it was very clear that Scott Bessent was talking over her, not because she's a woman, but because she was wrong. He was trying to correct her on the record. It had nothing to do with her sex or gender. And before I continue, I would just like to point out that it's funny that she knows that she's a woman. I wonder if she would be able to answer the question, what's a woman? How do you define womanhood? Just saying. Well, look, new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics proved that Scott Bessent, the benevolent, once again was spot on. According to Reuters, the monthly change in the United States Consumer Price Index was just 0.1% in May. This came in well below expectations. That is a good thing. That means inflation is cooling down, slowing down, heading in the right direction. But what's even better, CNBC puts it into perspective of the last 4 years. You can really see just how good this is in the perspective of the long-term trend line. And just keep in mind, this is supposed to be after the effect of President Trump's chaotic tariffs and his chaotic policies, right? The left told us that prices would go through the roof. We would head into a recession, if not a depression, because of President Trump's policies. And yet the CPI numbers are better than expected. This is a funny way for the media to spin this. This is one of the top headlines over at Axios. Inflation report suggests damage from Trump's tariffs isn't guaranteed. That's a funny way of saying that you way overhyped the danger of tariffs. In fact, what it really sounds like you're saying is, what do you mean that a Trump-caused recession isn't going to happen? Oh man, we were wrong again? It's not guaranteed? I mean, the best part in all of this isn't just that inflation is headed in the right direction, but investments are still coming into the economy. So earlier in his term, Trump was making announcements left and right of new investments coming into the United States. Well, according to CNBC, General Motors is going to invest $4 billion into U.S. manufacturing plants amid tariffs. There are apparently two popular Chevrolet vehicles that are currently being built in Mexico that are now going to be built here in the U.S. I think that is great news. And again, it's just more and more investments. You take a look at inflation coming down. These things are all looking great. Now, one of the top warnings that Democrats said as far as President Trump's economic policy is, oh no, President Trump is firing IRS workers. That means we're not going to be able to collect tax money. Well, guess what? IRS revenues are through the roof. And this proves that it's about more efficiency, not more government bloat. Here's Scott Bessent.
Critics of the president's efforts to modernize the IRS warned that the effort would result in a 10% shortfall in receipts. Instead, the opposite happened. April receipts this year were up 9.5% over the previous year, and receipts in May were up 14.7% over the previous year. Most remarkably, the president was able to achieve these results while reducing $2 billion in waste and planned IT spending at the IRS.
On top of that, the fact that we haven't had any tax hikes means that people are earning more than they were before. Because look, if tax revenues are up and you're being taxed at that same rate, then the only part of the equation that's changed is how much people are earning. And so that means that certain sectors of the economy are beginning to recover. Now, look, I know that things are still hard out there for a lot of people, but when you take a look at all these indicators, there definitely is a light at the end of the tunnel that's coming closer and closer and closer, and I hope that relief comes for you too. So it's not just Democrat Congresswoman Linda Sanchez who's had a bad day. We now know that LaMonica McIver now faces up to 17 years in prison. So for those of you who aren't familiar or maybe have forgotten, LaMonica McIver is the congresswoman who assaulted ICE agents in Newark, New Jersey. According to Axios, a federal grand jury leveled a 3-count indictment against her, and she now plans to plead not guilty. So I will definitely be providing updates on the channel as that case moves forward. So the anti-ICE protests have spread across the nation, and one of the most interesting incidents happened in New York City yesterday. Basically, people were trying to go to work. Obviously, New York has a super high cost of living, a lot of single mothers up there, and they're just trying to put food on the table for their children, keep the lights on, pay the bills, stay on top of all of it. Well, protesters shut down one of the roads, and people were angry, right? Because they're trying to get to work, and this black woman comes out of her car, and you just can't make this stuff up.
But I have a kid. If I don't, and these people are having their children taken and their parents. What about my kids? If I lose my job, then what happens to my kids? I can't help you. But you can if you could just move out the way. You're not going to. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing to do? No, it's not.
How do y'all as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
I seem to remember that in 2020, Democrats told us that black women had it worst in America, right? That they had the absolute, least amount of privilege. And in fact, that's what they tried to sell us when Kamala Harris was running for president last year, right? What I absolutely hate out of all of this is that the radical left is trying to turn criminals into the victims here while creating real victims out of innocent people like that woman who are just trying to live their lives. And unfortunately, it's not just happening in LA or New York, it's happening across the nation. In Chicago, protesters shut down Lakeshore Drive. You can see there traffic just going back forever and people coming out of nowhere from the parks onto the street here. And look, it's not just about economic disruption whenever you inappropriately, without a permanent, shut down roads like this, because this also affects things like emergency workers, ambulances, fire trucks, police, who now need to take maybe less convenient routes, or it's just so disruptive to everything that's going on when you could, protest in a park, protest it, you don't have to shut down a road to do that. And it's only a matter of time before some crazy person takes this into their own hands and lives are lost. I mean, this happened in the Loop, also in Chicago, where they were attempting to shut down the roads there, and a driver was just fed up. I'm not having any more of this. And as you can see, the car sped through the protests. And what's funny, well, not funny, but the local news there, the local news affiliates made it out as if the driver was the bad guy when, I'm not condoning this, but quite frankly, I can understand the frustration. In today's video, I would like to acknowledge Chase Your Dreams, Listen to You, Samantha Barber Gallaudet, RL1401, Jackie H, Jenda Manuro, and Rick Shaw as the members of today's Governor's Club. These are people who have given tips or super thanks to the channel. I really appreciate you, and I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. Well, PBD, Patrick Bet David, appeared on Fox News, and he has an interesting theory as to why the Democrats want these riots to happen.
Here's a challenge that Californians have to be thinking about. California, this is the closest it's ever been to being red. This is the closest California has ever been to being a red state in a long time. So now, a lot of the people that voted for Trump, the independents, the libertarians, and the conservatives in California that voted for Trump, they want to see changes in California. Are you going to fall for this tactic? He's separating families and their kids and all this other stuff. He's doing all this other stuff. It's going to be interesting watching how California handles this, because if they succeed in getting everybody else emotional, we know what game they're playing. June 14th is President Trump's 79th birthday, 250-year army. You got Flag Day. You got all this stuff that they're doing with America. They don't want to see any of these victories taking place. Axios article came out talking about 1,500 protests they're already planning in 50 states, funded by 100 progressive organizations, a lot of different NGOs. One of the Walton billionaires, Christy Walton, name was mentioned in New York Times. This is a $19-20 billion type of person. A lot of this money, you hear Soros, all these other things that they're doing. They're planning this. You know what they're looking for? I hate to say this. They're looking for their next George Floyd. That is all they need. They need one person. They need one massive crisis to have.
I hate to say it, but I think he's onto something there, because if you think about it, the Democrats are still lost in the wilderness. It's not like 2017 when there was strong resistance to President Trump. If you take a look at Trump's polling numbers, they're higher than they've ever been. If you look on the issues, people are siding with President Trump, and demographics that usually aren't aligned with conservatives. For example, legal migrants, such as my parents, people who have come to this country legally, now back President Trump in higher numbers than they've ever backed a Republican. And they're the ones who are really championing the deportation and secure borders policies. So the Democrats are losing, and I think they need something. They need some sort of crisis. They're just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And they know they need to mobilize their base. And hey, if this is going to do it, it's going to do it, right? And that it makes sense as to why the Democrats seem to be fanning the flames and ginning things up. And you can really tell based on how the media is covering this, but they're also, I mean, what are they leaving out? There's been one key ingredient that they've left out in all of their coverage. Usually in protests and usually in movements, the media, does on the street interviews. Hey, why are you here today? Why are you protesting? What do you want to see done? What's your message for President Trump? But they're not doing any of that at all. Why? Because these are radical people, right? They want us to return land, California, and all other southwestern states to Mexico. I mean, they are flat out saying that. It's all over social media, on TikTok, Instagram, X. You don't have to look far to see it. I've posted about this in previous videos. So that sort of radical language, but what happens if someone dies at the hands of police? What happens if someone dies and they can label it police brutality? Well, then they can really get people out of the woodwork and, really grow their movement. Really scary stuff to think about. Well, we are here. It is the end of the video, so it is giveaway time for those new to the channel, or in case you missed my last video, we're going to do a guessing game for my brand new kitten. Many of you have already met Drogon, as well as Matrim, and these are the people who have correctly guessed my new kitten's name. So far, there's only been one correct guess, Carolyn3535. Now, there are three other people, Jet, Steffi Babs, and Kristen. Kristen, you emailed me. You guessed his original name. Basically, he has two names, and I decided to count your guesses as correct because that's what he was named at the Humane Society, and I actually turned that into his middle name. So you are entered into the raffle, and so I guess there's a new rule now. You can actually win 2 entries into the raffle for 2 $50 gift certificates, and you don't have to be in the United States. I think right now my plan is 2 $50 Amazon gift cards, but for example, I have a lot of viewers in Europe or in the Philippines or expats abroad, so you don't have to be just in the US. And someone asked, hey, can I have more than one guess? Yes, you can guess as much as you want. Now, other people who were so close, Connie Shearer, Jay Vaughn, Trevor Weston, DTL Ryder, you can see your names here on the screen. You guys overguessed his name. Yeah, there was just too much there, but you got it. Like, I think most of, if not all of you, will know what I'm saying. So here is clue number 2, revealing this earlier than I thought I would. But number 1, I am known to leap, but I'm no frog. Clue number 2, Hollywood once called me Dennis. Techies called me Grace. Artists call me Edward. So that is clue number 2. There will be a total of 5. And again, the grand prize here, 2 $50 gift cards. And if you guess both his names correct, like the adopted name that I gave him and then his name from the Humane Society, you get 2 entries in the raffle. So leave your guesses down below. It helps me out in the algorithm. Or if you want to keep your guess private, you can email me stateofdaniel@gmail.com. And for those of you who I haven't responded to via email yet, I want to rest assured that I've seen it. I just haven't had a chance to reply. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.